Alrighty, we're here with Dave Stamm, and how's it going today, Dave?
It's going great.
Excellent. What have you been up to with your day?
Well, today I was in a 90-day planning session with a team of action coaches.
Aha. Well, was that an interesting day for you?
Incredibly interesting. It got us to sit down and document and plan out exactly what we need to do to move ahead in the next 90 days and forward.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So tell me, what sort of business are you in, Dave?
We are an on-call IT department for small businesses, 100 employees or less.
Mm-hmm.
We support them with Macs and PCs.
Yep. Is that all hardware, software, both?
We do both. We don't actually sell any products. We only provide service. So we have a team of field engineers who is covering the metro area all day long, visiting between 2 to 6 clients a day.
Yeah. Okay. So how many on your team then?
We have 7.
7 altogether. Huh?
Correct.
And just to put me in the picture, how did you come across Action International?
The first time I saw Action was at a local Chamber of Commerce event where it was a group that I'm involved in for business owners, and there was a presentation about coaching in general, and Action was there, and they seemed to be the most polished coaching program out there that I had seen. Their presentation materials were real, and they weren't just locally based. There was a worldwide network, which made it of interest to me. And at the time, which was a couple of years ago, I always thought, oh man, if I just had enough time to work with them, that it would sound real interesting.
I think I remember talking to you then.
Yes, it was. I think you had the presentation.
As a matter of fact, yeah, the old CEO roundtable.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So how long have you been a client?
I've been a client about 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
About 8 months, and I got into it once I found another. A complementary partner that we have for our business was actually involved with one of the coaches here in Milwaukee, and it was someone that I'm good friends with, and when I saw what it was doing for their business, I said, how can I afford not to do this right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had read the E-Myth also, and the E-Myth, reading that book, I felt like someone watched me and wrote it, so I knew I needed help, and I knew what I was looking for. I knew that I was specifically looking for, being a sole business owner, not having a partner or anyone to be accountable to other than myself. I really, really wanted to be part of the coaching program because I wanted somebody, a coach, to hold my feet to the fire as well as guide me, so that I thought I knew where I wanted to head, but I figured I could get there on my own in 3 to 5 years, and I thought if we worked with a coach for a year, then we would have a good shot at getting there faster and better.
Mm-hmm. And are you finding that to be the case?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jim, my coach, really focuses me on task every week, and if in the beginning, I tested him, and I was getting all my assignments done. And 1 week, I had a real busy week, and I decided not to get the assignments done. I figured, I'll just talk my way out of it. And he called me on it right away, and he said, we're not going to move forward if you're not going to get the assignments done. And he had a new book and a pack of materials he was going to hand me for the next week, and he ended up putting it in his bag and said, why don't you go back and do what you were supposed to do for this week? And we sat down and talked it through together to get me ideas for why I was held up by it and how I could free up some more time. And then after that, I learned that don't fall behind, and that was way early on, so things have been really good. It's also taught me to document and plan things out. I have a vision in my head, but I don't always sit down and write it down, and then I have nothing to actually match up expectations to reality.
Mm-hmm. So you had an alignment process going on in the beginning?
Exactly.
Yep. And was that valuable for you?
Incredibly valuable, because I've been working 100 hours a week for probably about the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And so for me it was, I wanted to get the business further ahead, but working less hours. So I had the double duty of wanting to reduce my workload, but almost like in half, but double my sales. And so it was quite a daunting challenge, and we're actually on track. We probably will end up exceeding it by the end of this 1 year that I started. So by this fall, we probably will get very close. Almost immediately upon working, I had been working 7 days a week. And I reduced, one of our things was I'm not going to work Sundays. And I almost very rarely work a Sunday anymore. Probably one Sunday every 2 months I would work, and that's about it. So for me, it's changed my life at home. My wife's a lot happier, and we're still pounding stuff out at work. And I found that actually getting a little sleep doesn't hurt for strategy planning. Yeah.
So would time have been one of your major challenges?
Yeah.
Time issues.
Hugely, because I felt like every time someone would say, well, this is what you need to do, I knew where a lot of my flaws were, but I didn't have the time. I would say I didn't have the time to implement it. I don't have time to work on my business. But if you think about it, how much of a ridiculous thing that is to say. But I said it all the time for a long time. Now I catch myself. Even if I'm thinking it, I catch myself before I say something like that.
Yeah, well, I do the same. It takes a major transformation from what I've learned to actually change who I was and the old habits I've had.
Yeah, and it's almost like once you work with a coach, you keep focusing yourself. And when I find myself off track, like I had a real stressful or busy week, and I'll talk to him on the coaching call, and you can tell I'm not quite in normal straits. It's like, well, what's happening this week? And I'll go over it. Well, are we going to find someone to take that over? And then, it's really helped me look at how we're hiring and really just attracting the people on the higher level executives that we need. We've already been bringing in now, just because we knew we were looking for them. And so when they came to us, it was like, this is one of the guys we really need right now. And before, I would have thought, we'll need them in the future. We'll need them in the future. Well, no better time than now, and that's kind of what we're working on.
So you've done some team building while you've had Jim as your coach?
Yeah, we did. We had a team day, and it was great. It was Jim came, and we had a team day off-site, actually. It was being in IT business, we're like a firefighter. We're always on call. We get phone calls all the time. We probably get 7 days a week calls. We ended up working it out so we could all meet for a full Saturday. And it was amazing to hear. We did profiles and of each employee, as well as we got an idea of everybody's vision and what they wanted to see the company as. And some of their visions were bigger than my vision. So it was really neat to see that some of our team actually thought we could go further ahead than I thought we could go as a team. So it was eye-opening, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah, excellent. So what are some of the other issues you've dealt with over the last 8 months or so? Well,
some of the stuff we're working on, like actually right now, is we've always, for me, right now we're real busy. So sales and revenue wasn't an issue. My problem was, how do we get to the next level, and how do I reduce the company's reliance on me? Because right now I built myself a fancy job. I didn't have a business really. We have staff, but it's still, if I disappear for more than a couple days, it's turmoil. So right now we're working on getting all the systems in place for one. So example is, we're working on a system for when a new client starts. They get a welcome kit that tells them who their primary and secondary technicians are, how they can report work issues. We went and rated clients. We're doing some rate increases to improve our margin. We didn't have very accurate or timely financial statements because I didn't think it was important. And now that we're really growing at a faster rate, I have to get that information very accurately and very timely, because I need to be able to make decisions. Are we going to do this or not? Are we going to curtail something back or go for it all the way? And there was no way before. I was doing it just off the cuff and saying, well, it feels right or it doesn't feel right. And I really didn't have any accurate picture where we were heading. It also allows us to set goals, which we weren't doing before, because now we can say, well, here's our financials, and these are how many leads we get. Here's where our total sales are. Here's our margins. And so we can then take and say, where do we want to be? Like today, we did 90 days, and we sat down and figured out where do we want to be in 90 days and a year, and out past that. And we could really sit down and see, what would it take? If we want to get to $5 million, how many billable technicians do I need to have in the field, and at what utilization do I have to have those techs at to get the numbers that I wanted to get? Which now I can actually look at it from numbers and say, this is exactly what we need. And maybe sometimes I'll realize it's unobtainable, but now I know what I need. And before I didn't. We were just busy a lot, but weren't driving for anything specific.
Yeah. So it's helped clarify and put a plan into place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And did you use any of the Action recruitment system to get your new team members?
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah.
We had that was one thing we had down pretty well, because we learned from hiring the wrong way that we really had to be careful on how we hired, because we don't sell any product. We only have our people. So we really we took some of the things that we learned from Action, incorporated into some stuff we were already doing, and actually it worked out so well. We got a write-up in the local business journal about that whole process, and we had like a 2-page spread just talking about our unique hiring process. And so we got PR out of it, besides getting incredibly great staff. And it was kind of interesting, in the team day, one of the staff members who was our most recent hire and had gone completely through the process said he had moved here from Philadelphia to take the job. He moved his girlfriend here, his fiance here, and they had moved here to take the job. And he said he's never worked in a business where he liked everyone else that he worked with, and he felt like we were a real team. And the team in general said that's why they all like coming into work, and that they hope we keep the process up for all the new hires so that they keep getting high caliber people working together. And so the team is basically, I've committed to the team that I will not bring anyone in as this is my friend and he's coming on to do this. We put everyone through the process, whether we knew him ahead of time or not. So works incredibly well.
Excellent process, isn't it? I'm just amazed at how well it works time after time.
It really works really well.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody who is considering taking on an action coach?
I would say, go for the year commitment. You're going to need some time to get this done, but a year is not very long in the big picture, because everything you keep thinking about you want to do and you keep putting off, if you can get it done in a year or less time, it's a really short amount of time, and it's highly, highly valuable. They'll give you a lot of proven systems that hundreds of coaches are using worldwide with their clients, and they will hold your feet to the fire, and when you say you don't have enough time for it, it's a bad excuse, and it's a great thing to do.
Fantastic. Appreciate your time today, Dave.
Thank you.
I'll look forward to seeing the next branches opening nationwide.
Sounds great. Thanks, Alan.
Bye now.